After a downward trend for the last few years, the results of the Federal Employee Survey sent to some 840,000 federal employees reveals a 1% increase in both employee engagement and global satisfaction scores. And of that number, nearly 421,000 people replied, and this data was sorted by OPM to provide a number of useful metrics, some that are quite encouraging. For example, 96% of federal employees surveyed are willing to put in the extra effort necessary to get the job done. 90% are consistently looking for ways to do better and feel that the work that they do is important. And I must stress that as I have talked to federal employees, that this does not come as a surprise to me, and it's something that we need to do a better job in Congress of sharing with the American taxpayer, that we have committed federal employees. Yet some employee perceptions, and I'm sad to say perceptions by some in Congress of agency leaderships, continue to struggle. Only 50% of employees had positive things to say about the honesty and integrity of their leadership. This should remain as a concern for agencies' leaders with managing our nation's more than 2 million public servants. And in the area of promotions and dealing with poor performers, survey results are even more alarming. Only 33% of the workers agreed with the statement that promotions in their work unit are based on merit. 28% of the employees said that the necessary steps are taken to deal with poor performers. And only 21% of employees across the government said that pay raises depend on how well the employees perform their jobs. So over the past year, I've had the pleasure and the honor of visiting numerous federal agencies, the most recent just a couple of days ago across the Washington, D.C. area. I've had the opportunity to discuss a variety of topics with federal employees, including employee engagement and satisfaction. I've met with federal employees from NASA to GAO, the Archives, MSPB, CBP, Air and Marine Operations, and I've always enjoyed it and appreciated the opportunity to visit with our federal workforce. This week, as I was just mentioning, I was able to visit the Air and Marine Operations Manassas Air Branch, where I had the opportunity to meet and speak with AMO pilots and those that serve in that capacity, as well as serve the operation. I was highly impressed not only by their commitment to serving and protecting the American people, but I also wanted to thank them for sharing more with me about their mission, because it was one of those things that a lot of people don't know about, even members of Congress. And so today we're joined by a number of agencies near the top and bottom of the best places to work rankings, as well as the most improved agencies from 2015. NASA has ranked #1 for large agencies in the best places to work rankings for the past 4 years with an index score of 76.1 out of 100. Congratulations. Last year I had the opportunity to not only meet with employees at NASA, enjoying that visit with staff and learning more about the mission and vision. I'd like to hear more about NASA's engagement, employee engagement efforts undertaken at the agency that allows them to remain at the top of the rankings. The Department of Homeland Security, who also joined us last year, continues to remain last in the rankings with an index score of 43.1 out of 100. DHS has ranked 19 of 19 in large agencies on factors such as effective leadership, fairness, empowerment, and skills to match the mission. As many of you know, we've had Secret Service hearings. I've had a number of Secret Service employees who have reached out to me personally about just concerns that they've had, and the Secret Service employees ranked their workplace as 319th out of 320 in the agency subcomponent. Additionally, Immigration and Customs Enforcement ranked 318 out of 320. Both of those areas have been areas that we've addressed in this particular committee, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to discuss those today, Ms. Bailey, as we look at DHS to have a plan to take ownership to ensure that its employees are engaged, and how DHS plans to improve the employee satisfaction and commitment at the agency. The Department of Labor is the most improved large agency for 2015 with an index score of 63.1 out of 100. DOL has improved from 17th in the 2013 Best Places to Work to a ranking of 8th in 2015, so congratulations. HUD is the most improved mid-size agency for 2015 with an index score of 52.3 out of 100. And HUD is ranked 21st out of 24 for mid-size agencies and had an 8-point increase in their index score. For both DOL and HUD, I hope to hear about some of the initiatives that your agencies have undertaken that has led to this significant increase in the employee satisfaction and commitment. Obviously, the Partnership for Public Service also joins us today. Perhaps can share some of your observations on employee engagement and offer some suggestions for agencies to improve the employee engagement efforts. Before I close, I wanted to also mention at the last hearing, there were two different things that came out of that. We had different people testifying. The archivist, I talked to him the other day, and he mentioned a 4-point increase in their score that they're paying attention. We are paying attention to this in a bipartisan way. The other thing that came out with Secretary Johnson, we had the title of this was The Worst Places to Work in the Federal Government. And he admonished me both privately and publicly that we ought to change the title of that. So indeed, we have listened to that and have changed the title, but I also want to stress today that the fact that you're here as witnesses and joining us here today is an important part of making sure that we address the concerns that have been raised by the rank and file, and I want to thank you for that. And with that, I would like to recognize the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Government Operations, my good friend, Mr. Conley, for his opening statement.